How to fix yourself. It begins in a quiet moment where you sit still long enough to feel the weight of being broken, stuck, tired of repeating the same mistakes while pretending tomorrow will somehow change without you changing first. And in that silence, a disciplined voice speaks, not with comfort but with clarity, reminding you that fixing yourself is not a dramatic rescue. It is a deliberate confrontation with the patterns you keep choosing every day. You are not lost because you are incapable. You are lost because you keep walking familiar roads even after they prove where they lead. And awareness of that truth stings because it removes excuses and replaces them with responsibility. And responsibility feels heavy, only to those who have not yet learned. It is the source of power. Pain starts to make sense when it is no longer treated as an enemy, because pain is guidance, a signal showing where habits are misaligned, where discipline is absent, where effort has been inconsistent. And instead of escaping that discomfort through distraction, the mind sharpens when it studies it, asking what must change rather than why this happened. Fixing yourself does not begin with chasing massive dreams or reinventing an identity overnight. It begins with repairing the smallest systems that quietly shape your days, because daily routines decide your future long before big decisions ever do. And a life without structure will always collapse under pressure, no matter how strong the intention. The mentor's voice remains calm but firm, explaining that blaming circumstances, people, or luck may protect the ego, but it keeps growth locked away. And the moment responsibility is accepted, not emotionally, but practically, the mind shifts from helplessness to construction, from waiting to building. Emotions once felt like uncontrollable forces: anger, frustration, doubt, fear, each one dictating action or inaction. But mastery begins when emotions are observed rather than obeyed, when reaction is delayed just long enough for discipline to take control. Because strength is not the absence of emotion, it is the ability to act with precision while emotion is present. Weakness is no longer something to hide when it is understood correctly. Because weakness is awareness, waiting to be trained, and every flaw noticed is proof that growth is possible, while ignorance would have kept you trapped without knowing why. Fixing yourself demands honesty, not the kind shared publicly, but the private kind, where excuses are stripped away and behavior is examined without mercy, where the truth is faced, that motivation fades, inspiration lies, and only consistent action reshapes identity. Confidence does not arrive through affirmations or external validation. It is built quietly through repeated proof, through small promises kept daily, through showing up when comfort demands retreat, and each completed action deposits trust back into the self, restoring belief not through words but through evidence. Distractions are revealed as the most patient enemy, not loud or aggressive but constant, pulling attention away from effort just enough to keep progress shallow. And when they are cut back, discomfort rises, boredom appears, restlessness screams. Yet within that discomfort lies unused potential, waiting to be sharpened. Routine transforms from a symbol of limitation into a source of strength. When it is understood that routine removes chaos, preserves energy, and turns effort into something automatic, allowing progress even on days when motivation is absent. Fixing yourself also means understanding time honestly, recognizing how easily it slips away through delay, hesitation, and endless preparation, and realizing that growth favors those who act imperfectly rather than those who wait perfectly. Mental resilience is built not through avoiding stress, but through exposure to controlled difficulty, through choosing effort when ease is available, through standing steady when progress feels slow, because resilience is not toughness in moments of triumph. It is endurance during repetition. The voice grows stronger now, not louder, but more certain, explaining that consistency is not a tactic, it is an identity, something you become when actions align daily, when effort no longer depends on mood, and when discipline becomes automatic rather than forced. Fixing yourself requires releasing the fantasy of overnight change, accepting that transformation is gradual, often invisible at first, and usually lonely. Because most people only respect results, not the process that creates them. Mistakes no longer feel like failure when viewed correctly. Because failure only exists when lessons are ignored, and every setback becomes information, every misstep feedback, guiding the next adjustment with greater precision. Structure in life begins to create clarity in the mind, as sleep, work, learning, and rest find balance, and chaos fades when decisions are simplified, because fewer choices mean stronger execution. Control returns slowly, not as dominance over others, but as mastery of attention, time, and effort. The three forces that decide who you become. Fixing yourself also demands protecting the future version of you, making decisions today that tomorrow's self will respect, even when present comfort resists. Because discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you are capable of becoming. The mentor's tone settles into calm authority, reminding you that motivation may start movement, but it cannot sustain it. And only learning, applying, and repeating solid principles will reshape your life. Over time, posture changes, thinking sharpens, reactions slow, not because the world becomes easier, but because capacity increases, and increased capacity creates peace. Fixing yourself does not eliminate struggle, it transforms it, turning chaos into challenge, confusion into clarity, and effort into progress. This path is not loud, it does not seek applause, and it does not require permission. It unfolds quietly each day through responsibility, structure, emotional control, and consistent action. And in the end, fixing yourself is not about feeling ready or inspired. It is about choosing to learn, to apply, and to evolve every single day, calmly, relentlessly, inevitably, until growth is no longer something you chase, but something you embody. How to fix yourself. The understanding deepens when it becomes clear that growth is not a single decision, but a series of quiet choices repeated long after excitement fades. And this is where most people stop, because repetition exposes discipline, and discipline exposes truth. The mentor's presence remains steady, explaining that the mind resists structure because structure removes excuses. And once excuses are gone, there is nowhere left to hide. Only work. Only effort, only accountability, staring back without mercy. Fixing yourself requires accepting that comfort has a cost. That ease steals potential slowly and politely, while difficulty pays in strength, clarity, and self-respect. And every time comfort is chosen over effort, a small piece of identity is traded away without notice. The cycle only breaks when awareness becomes action. When insight is followed immediately by execution, because understanding without movement is just another form of delay. Discipline begins to feel less like force and more like alignment, when actions finally match intentions, and when days stop being negotiated emotionally and start being executed intentionally. The mentor's voice cuts through illusion, revealing that waiting to feel confident before acting is backwards, because confidence is created after action, not before it. And every avoided task reinforces doubt, while every completed task weakens it. Fixing yourself also means redefining patience, not as passive waiting, but as active endurance. The ability to continue showing up without visible reward, trusting the process, even when progress feels invisible. Routine becomes sacred here, not because it is exciting, but because it is reliable. And reliability builds momentum that motivation never could. The mind sharpens when chaos is reduced, when mornings have purpose, when nights have closure, and when each day has a clear direction rather than endless options that drain willpower. Emotional control evolves next, not by suppressing feelings, but by refusing to let them dictate behavior, understanding that emotions rise and fall, but principles remain, and acting on principle builds stability in an unstable world. Fixing yourself also requires learning solitude, not as loneliness, but as a training ground where focus deepens, distractions fade, and self-awareness grows sharper because silence reveals what noise hides. Consistency begins to reshape identity, quietly, until effort feels natural, until discipline feels familiar, until doing the work no longer requires internal debate. The mentor emphasizes that progress compounds, not dramatically, but steadily, and small improvements made daily create separation over time, while inconsistency keeps potential trapped at the starting line. Setbacks no longer derail the path when resilience is trained, because resilience understands that falling is part of movement and stopping is the only true failure. Fixing yourself demands humility, the willingness to admit what does not work, to abandon ineffective habits, and to rebuild without ego, because ego protects the past while growth demands change. Learning becomes continuous, not just through books or advice, but through observation, reflection, and adjustment. Treating life itself as feedback rather than judgment, strength develops in layers, mental first, then emotional, then physical, each one reinforcing the other, creating a foundation that does not collapse under pressure,